Michael, I think part of, in terms of determining how you're going to look at all these elements, both, the mitigating factors and aggravating factors, has to go with what and how the system and this particular judge looks at what this is all about, sentencing, right? Is it about retribution? Is it about punishment? Is it about making someone feel responsible for what they've done? I think that's part of it as well. What are your views on what sentencing is really or should be all about?
It's going to come down to the bias of this judge, and every one of us has a bias, right? My father would not sign the permission slip for me to continue playing football in high school back in 1993. He said it's going to make you go crazy, young man. My dad's a lawyer, right? So he thinks about these things. He had a bias. Then you talk to other people, and they say, I think that this whole thing is made up. I don't think there's such a thing as CTE. So it depends on the bias of this judge. I do believe that the fact that this defendant pled guilty and did not make everybody sit through a trial, the fact that there was the father earlier broke my heart, and the way he spoke. By the way, these victims have a civil case going against the father, but the father still spoke to them and apologized to them, and he was sincere. I think if that doesn't sway this judge, that means that the judge just basically doesn't believe any of this stuff. He believes it's a bunch of gobbledygook and just thinks that this is just a bad seed, and this bad seed needs to go away for as long as possible. It really just depends on the bias of that judge. If I was a judge in this case, and thankfully I'm not, I would get closer to the 18 years.